Football is as violent a sport as there is, and we tend to forget that even the greatest warriors can be permanently sidelined on any given play, ones that are 100% legal.
Oh no, there's a man down.
So grab a tissue, sit down, and play the Fox injury music on Spotify. Clean hits that ended NFL careers is coming up right after this. There was a certain point in time where it felt like Brett Favre might actually play forever. As it turned out, 20 was one season too many, and one clean shot from Bears defensive end Corey Wooten abruptly sent the old man out to pasture to a decade of Wrangler ads. The Iron Man was brought down on a cold Monday night game in TCF Bank Stadium. Favre had suffered an AC joint sprain a couple weeks earlier, but this time when Favre took too long to throw, Wooten got around the edge and wrapped up Favre, spinning him to the ground. If only he had wrapped his head in copper fit. Every dream, good or bad, eventually comes to an end. For Christian Okoye, Steve Atwater was a screaming alarm clock charging down the A-gap. When Denver and Kansas City met on Monday Night Football in 1990, at that point, Okoye was the reigning rushing leader in the NFL and an All-Pro. Okoye carried the ball right up the middle with a big gap and room to run, but Atwater came zooming in from safety, closed the gap, and did what no one else was able to do, knocked Okoye flat on his ass. This didn't end Okoye's career due to injury, but he was never the same after. Okoye began to grow tired of practice, and at the end of his career, he said football was just a job to him. Now you can't mention his name or his career without saying Atwater's name in the same breath. Who would win, the man widely regarded as the greatest all-around athlete of all time, or a ball and socket joint? Sadly, we know the answer, and it's not Bo Jackson. Bo knew a lot of sports, but his fabled tale came to an end in a playoff game against the Bengals in January of 1991. He hit the corner and looked like he might be gone until Bengals linebacker Kevin Walker caught up and pulled him down from behind. An innocuous looking tackle, but it would be Jackson's last play in the NFL. Bo landed on his left hip, dislocating it, and when he tried to pop it back into place, ended up damaging blood vessels, and his degenerative hip condition would prevent him from ever playing again. Bo Jackson would eventually return to the field, but it was on the diamond, not the gridiron. RIP to the greatest Tecmo Bowl player of all time. His NFL career, that is. He didn't die. Why do Eagles fans have the reputation that they do? Well, probably because they earned it. No more so than in 1999 when the Cowboys traveled to play the Eagles in Old Veterans Stadium. In the first quarter, Troy Aikman threw a quick slant to Irvin. He reeled in the pass and he was trying to fight for extra yards and was hit in the back by Eagles safety Tim Hawk. It was a clean play, but a freak situation. The hit narrowed Irvin's spinal column and left him writhing in pain on the field, and sure enough, Philly fans cheered like Nick Foles had just walked into their house and whipped it out on the kitchen table. Irvin was carted off for even more raucous cheers and never caught a pass again, but believe it or not, the playmaker doesn't hold any ill will towards the crowd that day. It's a lot more grace than you might expect from someone who stabbed a teammate with a pair of scissors. It wasn't just one hit that ended Troy Aikman's career, but the final one was a knockout. In Week 15 against Washington, LeVar Arrington hit Aikman so hard he woke up in the booth next to Joe Buck. In the first quarter of the game, the Cowboys faced 3rd and goal at their 2-yard line. Aikman rolled out right, saw a red blur coming directly at him, and threw the ball out of bounds. That blur was LeVar Arrington, who hit Aikman inbounds right in the chest, but the force of the hit caused Aikman's temple to bang against the carpet at the old Texas Stadium. In an age where quarterbacks can play 20 years, we forget that Troy Aikman only played 12. Sometimes the most innocuous looking hits turn out to be the worst. Through his first 7 seasons, Sharp had already surpassed 8,000 yards and scored 65 touchdowns. That stellar career was cut short in the final game of the 1994 season, a year where he had already scored 18 times. Sharp was trying to set the edge with a block on a run play, but Falcon safety Brad Edwards shed Sharp, and in doing so ended up jarring his head back and injuring his neck. That was the last play of his career. The difference between a Hall of Fame career and one tragically cut short can be as small as one play. As fans, we often forget that our favorite athletes are some real tough son of a bitches, and some of the hits that would kill most of us, like me, actually end up killing their careers. Until next time, I'm Adam Jackson.